The Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And RF Group, money at work.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is the 8th day of September 2021 here in the Cayman Islands and many places throughout the world as well. It is the 8th day of September. For those of you here in the Cayman Islands, I hope and I trust that you had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, again, and we will do this at the beginning of every show, we urge you to please ensure that you observe the rules of the road, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads. Please be careful, be cautious, observe the rules, and the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who's celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, belated happy birthday as well. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing as well. Those of you who are feeling under the weather and are either at home or at a medical facility, we wish for you a speedy recovery as well. And for those of you who are in quarantine and either are quite fine, or some of you may be showing signs of the COVID-19 infection, we wish everything goes well for you and that you're able to be up and out in the community at some point in time as well. And we're going to talk more about that because there has been so much conversation about the number of persons with infections, and I think some persons have taken the narrative on that and tried to give the impression that those persons may be out in the community, and no one is paying any attention to the fact that these are actually persons who are quarantining. But we'll talk more about that as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. Those calls can be made primarily on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us at 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which may be played during the course of the show. And, of course, follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. We may have Dr. Steve Macfield in the studio with us this morning. He does have a court appearance, but since he is walking distance from us now right across the parking lot, he may be able to grace us with his presence this morning. If not, we certainly understand the situation. We do have a caller. Before I go to the caller as well, I just want to give you a little bit of trivia here. And for those of you who are the fans of this lady, on the 8th of September 1986, the highest rated talk show in television history debuted on 35 years ago today. A former news anchor in Nashville and Baltimore, Oprah Winfrey, relocated to the Windy City in 1984. And of course, you know the Windy City, that's Chicago, to host the flailing AM Chicago. Her candor and compassion caused a rating surge, so she was invited to sign a syndication deal and rename the series in 1986. That same year, Winfrey founded her television production company, Harpo Productions, which shared a name with a character in the color purple. And they note here that Winfrey loved the book and received an Oscar nomination for her role in the 1985 film, that is The Color Purple. By retaining ownership of her show and studio and securing a major stake in her syndicator, Winfrey became one of the planet's wealthiest women, even before her media conglomerate included a magazine and a television network as well. And there's more about this, but I think that's sufficient, for you at this point in time. We do have a caller, so let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, Mr. Rossi. Is that me?
Yes, that's you, sir. Go right ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I don't know where to start, really, but as you said, we're living in rough times, and you and I talked many times about COVID-19, and I don't think we have been able to understand why people are hesitant to get vaccinated. But I may ask you now, did you receive my last email to you?
I received one. Was it last week?
I guess so.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and I guess I just took for granted that you would share what you needed with Dr. Mike for you.
Certainly, yes.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, I have one now, Mr. O.C., that I got it yesterday, and I don't know if my computer, I can't do everything that I would like to do, but I'm going to get that to you even if I got to print it off and then bring it up there or whatever.
Okay.
But anyway, let me first of all say to the families of my three brothers of the sea and his past, deepest condolences.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not often that you see two brothers pass away so near. And I'm talking about Benjamin Ebanks and Harold Ebanks.
Yes, sir.
And that's north side, but in West Bay, it's Tom Jackson. We've been losing a lot of members, and they're not blood brothers, but we all shared one thing in common. We were seamen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I got emotional, and the problem still is So I'm going to try to branch off from that and see if I can say something else that's I would like to you and others to hear my feeling on opening the borders of this country.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So see, I make it a point to try to listen to these people who are in the medical field explaining about the virus. Some people criticize Dr. Fauci, but he's a man getting up in age, but he's a very intelligent man, and he knows his stuff. And he keeps saying, get vaccinated, because the more people that contract COVID gives the virus more chance to mutate. And it has mutated and mutated, and it is very contagious at this time. South Florida, I will refer to, Miami and Tampa area, they're running out of beds in the hospital. Let me give you an instance closer to home. A lady shared with me that she sang in a choir. And she realized that nearly every time they met for rehearsal, there was a lady who was asking them for prayer for her husband because he needed a heart transplant. Well, paperwork started, and God was working, and everything was set. The air ambulance was to come in at a certain time, pick him up, take him back to Florida. I think it was the day before this was happening. The company called and said, I'm sorry, we cannot pick up your husband because the doctor said they don't have a bed to put him in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So try to take care of him at home. You know, if they didn't believe when I said there was no beds available, this happened here. This man is still waiting to get a heart transplant, but he couldn't get a bed in the hospital.
Okay, wow.
Mr. O.C., I know there are a lot of others waiting to have their say, and I will say to the powers to be that January is not that far away. I don't know how many lives may be saved through it, but you may be able to give me the right figure of how many positives it was a few days ago, some 20 odd, right?
Yes, there were the most recent one that we have, which was issued yesterday. There were only 4 positives in that one, but the one prior to that was much higher. Yes, sir. Yes.
I think it, like I said, I thought it was 28 or 29. Anyway.
24.
Yes,
okay.
Sir. Very good. Thank you. So let me cut this off by saying the powers that be, I'm saying I believe it would be smart. And we have examples nearby, Jamaica, Florida, to see the mistakes that were made. So why don't we keep the borders closed till January? I believe lives will be saved, and we just need, what we're lacking here more than anything else is love, and that's what God wants us to do, love each other.
Mm-hmm.
God bless you.
And protect each other, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And thank you for your contribution to the many articles that you touch.
Thank you very much, sir.
Say hello to Dr. Mike for me.
Will do.
And have a good day.
You too, sir, and please stay safe. And just a correction there, the report that we received on the 6th of September, there were 23 positive test results in travelers, and 1 in a person quarantining with a traveler. So total of 24, 23, and 1 person quarantining with a traveler. Time for us to take our first commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
James Stafford Banks, 1908-1975.
Stafford Banks started out as a seaman, but later returned home to start his own business. He owned and operated a variety store and meat market in West Bay for many years, employing a great number of local people. He was married to Velma Arabella E. Banks, and the couple had 3 children. Stafford had the first light plant in West Bay and supplied power to the Presbyterian Church free of charge. He was also a pioneer in the taxi business and used his taxi to transport Dr. Horder to his calls all over the island and Reverend Blackman to different districts to preach. In early times, he also used it as a hearse to transport the dead. Stafford was credited with saving the life of a fisherman who had lost his paddle and was drifting out to sea. He was a member of the First Chamber of Commerce and served as a vestryman and MLA for a number of years.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Had a look at those investment options yet?
Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12. But you look relaxed.
That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy, so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamt Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamt Motors, Walkers Road.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointments.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope, No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have one caller on hold and we're going to be going to our 8 o'clock news soon, but we're going to take that caller. I just want to mention that Bermuda yesterday recorded, or between yesterday and today recorded, their 35th death from COVID-19. So one more death yesterday, unfortunately. They have 10 hospital cases now as well, and also their active COVID-19 cases have jumped to 472, and these are not just cases with persons who are in quarantine, but these are community cases as well, instances where people go to work not feeling all that well, and as a result of going to work not feeling well, then has caused the virus to spread as well. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hey, good morning, Jose.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Fine, sir. Just for a recap, that conversation we had Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. That when the MRCU came in there, did that word evolve get anything to you? What I said?
Let's try it again. Let's try it again.
Sorry.
Go over what you said on Friday.
Yeah, I told you that whatever 100 million mosquitoes,
mm-hmm.
Try bred out of this. This concept that making sterile mosquitoes,
mm-hmm.
that you would have one that would turn into, a hybrid then. You understand?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, the man, I was just listening, and he said, they have evolved. They have made the eggs last longer throughout the drought. Just for the information, So, mosquitoes been around here for 46 million years, They didn't really evolve too much in between then.
Mm-hmm. But they adapt to situations. For instance, if you use a particular insecticide, after a while they get accustomed and immune to that particular insecticide, so you have to change. So if you're using the word evolve in that sense, then or it could be used in that sense. Sorry.
Yeah, well, evolving on a chemical, that's not hard, but evolving on something natural, that's very, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And mosquito, they adapted to get smaller and kind of get more smart and more aggressive, they split up. But that was just one little piece I wanted to ask you if you could just recognize that he said that they evolved.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I said, I think, was to make them evolve and make them last longer is probably to keep up the use in the mosquito sprays and the false trials that they keep on having and trying to get mosquitoes under control.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
With still having us not using the natural way to smoke,
mm-hmm.
coconut oil or whatever it be, So that was my thing on that. And I can spit in one last thing on the
sure.
vaccine.
Sure.
Also, when I was a baby, you could force me probably to get my shot. You know what I mean? I I didn't probably have no choices. You know?
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, once you're under the age of consent, your parent made that decision for you.
Yes, and it definitely was a life-saving, choices. Definitely with all them diseases, polio and stuff going around like that. I definitely thank them for making that choices. But that vaccine that wasn't created in 3-4 months. So, that took 14, almost a good 20 years to make. You understand?
Mm-hmm. But and I don't believe that we could suggest that the ones that have been developed now, that they were developed in just a few months as well. We have heard the experts talk about the fact that there was continuous work being done in relation to the COVID, because COVID is not anything new. This particular strain of it, the COVID-19, is maybe new, but COVID itself was not new. So it wasn't like they were starting from scratch.
No, I know. But I gave you the true origin of the COVID. It was the rat G13. That was the true origin of it. And when you get over this, when you get cured with this, naturally or with the hospital's help, you turn black. That's the real thing on this. When you got a vaccine now, you're not really curing yourself, because you're still able to spread the virus. You understand? But just to let that person that called in there, let him know that, he said that, why is it so hard for people to just go and take the vaccine? Well, sorry, but these are educated times. And these are times that where people know that they have a choice whether,
But when when the choice and I have to go to the news, and this is I'll just leave this with you to think about. When you have that choice, but that choice that you make will have a significant impact on others, not just one person, but others, then where should the benefit of the doubt, or where should we be leaning more towards, the individual or the group? Something to think about. But don't answer me now, because we don't have time for it. Please feel free to call back. We have to go to our 8 o'clock news, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Foster's is 7:59.
When you're on the go, let the Island Supermarket shop for you.
To start, head to fosters.ky/go.
Then shop all of your favorite products online, from produce and seafood to grocery and frozen, all picked by our team of shoppers ready to go.
Choose next day curbside pickup from Foster's Cayman Bay, or delivery island-wide.
To get your order started, visit fosters.ky/go.
This is Groceries on the Go.
And we are Foster's Go. Shop online anytime.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 31st of December 2021. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Karsley Fuller. The Ministry of Home Affairs announces the appointment of 2 acting deputy chief officers following a rigorous and competitive selection process. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has more.
The internal appointees, Lisa Melise and Julian Lewis, had oversight of the Department of Community Rehabilitation and the Department of Public Safety Communications, respectively. Speaking to the appointments, Home Affairs Acting Chief Officer Michael Ebanks said in their new roles with the ministry, they will now lead the pursuit of government's policies and priorities across all 6 MHA departments. Mr. Ebanks expressed full confidence in their ability to successfully oversee and deliver on the ministry's complex portfolio of security and public safety operations. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
The University College of the Cayman Islands is set to honor recipients of the institution's privately funded scholarships. The first ever Community Engagement Program scholarship ceremony is on Thursday, September 16th from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. The CEP was set up in June with the funding from Beverly and Thomas Simpson and provides $50,000 in scholarships each year for the next 4 years for students showing financial need. And residents of Cayman Brac are making use of a recycling container that is shaped like a fish with the mantra, just keep cycling. Dory, the recycling fish located just across from the Alexander Hotel in Cayman Brac, a prominent reminder that recycling is a community effort. Dory's creator and Brac resident, Jerry O'Brien.
I usually do a daily beach cleanup, and on my cleanups I take 1 bag for garbage, 1 bag for plastic recycling, and then the plastic bag is always overflowing. So I decided I have to come up with some type of a plan, some place to put all this plastic I keep collecting. Didn't take long to make the fish. I had someone on the island help me, so we're finished in 5 days. I wasn't even sure if the project was going to take over, if anyone would even notice her. But you know the line, if you build it, they will come, and sure enough, they did.
Ms. O'Brien says Dory has been emptied by the DEH several times. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Debbie Russ. France's biggest ever terrorism trial is opening in Paris amid tight security. 20 men are accused of involvement in coordinated Islamist attacks nearly 6 years ago, which killed 130 people. Teams of jihadists targeted bars, restaurants, a sports stadium and the Bataclan concert hall in the French capital. Dozens of women have marched through the streets of the Afghan capital, Kabul, and in Badakhshan province in protest at the announcement of an interim Taliban government with no female representatives. Some demonstrators were reportedly beaten before the protests were dispersed. Activists for the opposition movement in Myanmar say they've destroyed 11 communications masts used by the military who seized power in February. It follows a call by opposition leaders for a mass uprising. The Philippine President, Rodrigo Duterte, who's not allowed to run for another term, has formally accepted his party faction's nomination to run for vice president in the next election. Mr. Duterte said he would run for the love of his country. At least 12 people have been killed and hundreds displaced by violence in Kenya's Rift Valley. Armed cattle herders invaded parts of a conservation area, stealing animals and burning houses. A plan to help ease Lebanon's crippling energy crisis has been agreed at a meeting in Jordan. Regional energy ministers say they hope that Egyptian gas will soon be sent to Jordan to generate power supplies for Lebanon. Russia's emergencies minister, Yevgeny Zinichev, has died during a training exercise in the Arctic. One report from the head of a state-owned broadcaster RT said he'd tried to save a cameraman who fell off a cliff into water during an interview. China's education ministry has announced additional restrictions on the private tutoring sector, saying it wants to reduce pressure on school children. That's the latest BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you aware of the performance of your pension plan? The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended 30th of April, 2021, the various life cycle funds have provided returns between 10.5% and 43.2%. And our all-in expense ratio for year ended 30th of June 2020 is currently the lowest it's ever been. Pension, 0.72%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Before, during, and after a storm, the Water Authority will use all available media channels, including social media, to advise the public of when the water supply is connected and safe to use. For more useful hurricane preparedness tips, visit the Water Authority's website at www.waterauthority.ky or follow us on social media.
Hello, Cayman. This is your Miss Cayman Islands Universe, Mariah Tibbetts. Join me and our 9 lovely contestants at this year's pageant on Saturday, September 11th at the Westin Hotel. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the show starts at 7 p.m. The tickets are available at Funky Tangs and Sand Angels. A huge thank you to our corporate sponsors, the Ministry of Tourism, Radio Cayman, Compass Media, and Cayman Airways. The journey to the crown continues.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we are more than an insurance company. We are family. To learn more about our first-in-class individual and group life, disability and accident solutions, please visit Pan American International Insurance Corporation at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Song Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304 and visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the very latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 77%. The barometric pressure is 29.93 inches and falling. The wind is east at 6 knots. Overnight low temperature was 81 degrees. Synopsis indicate isolated showers along with light to moderate easterly winds and seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours in association with a weak pressure gradient across the Caribbean. A decrease in hazy conditions are expected from tomorrow morning. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving west. The National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories on Hurricane Larry. For more information on this system, you can visit www.nhc.noaa.gov. This system poses no threat to the Cayman Islands. The forecast for today calling for partly cloudy and hazy skies with a 30% chance of afternoon showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will be in the low 90s. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will fall to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. High tide will be this morning at 10:15, low tide this afternoon at 10 minutes past 4, and a high tide tonight at 11 minutes after 10. The sun will set this evening at 6:32 and will rise tomorrow morning at 12 minutes past 6. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Friday morning.
10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we're more than just an insurance company, we're family. To learn more about our first-in-class group health and employee benefit solutions, please visit Pan American Life Insurance Company of the Cayman Islands at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304. You can also visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Back to school can be a stressful time for families. Parents are trying to regain weekly schedules and structure. Meanwhile, children may struggle with anxiety about moving up a year, seeing their peers, or worse, encountering unfavorable bullying situations. Don't wait until the last minute to prepare for school. Quick tip, throwing a small back-to-school party for your child and their friends is a great way to ease back into the social element of school and can greatly reduce the first week anxiety. If you want to do it inexpensively, have a small party at your house with a handful of kids and a few snacks.
Change your thinking and change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong Series was brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. Encourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at traffic. Eastbound traffic is moving along moderately on Crew Road, and westbound traffic on Crew Road steady. Busy traffic on Shamrock Road and bumper-to-bumper traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway. Little patience needed this morning, as you're going to have some delays. Also busy traffic coming off of Agnes Way off of the Linford Pearson Highway, and steady traffic off of Bobby Thompson Way. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing moderately, and traffic is flowing at a good pace on Edward Street and Shedden Road, moderate flow of traffic. Light traffic on Owen Roberts Drive, and coming from the West Bay four-way stop, moderate flow of traffic. And looking towards the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moving on moderately in both directions. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Remember, click it or ticket.
You see how hard it's raining?
Yeah, and I don't have time to fight traffic and get my lunch from Subway. I have so much work to do.
Why don't you order Subway by using the Let's Eat or Bento app? Save time, stay dry, and get your sandwich fast.
I never thought of that. Great idea. I'm going to order now.
Order me a veggie pizza while you're at it.
And a cookie platter for the office. Too busy at work or home? Is the rainy weather stopping you from dining out? Order your favorite Subway sandwich, wrap, or pizza through the Let's Eat or Bento app with fast and reliable delivery. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Miller's Plumbing. They will get the job done for you on time the first time. Call them at 949-4709 for a free estimate. Miller's Plumbing, a proud sponsor of Radio Cayman's 7 a.m. weather update.
Mr. Plumber, I've come to fix the sink.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of The Business Buzz is brought to you by Cayman Medical Supplies, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner. Cayman Medical Supplies is located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center. Telephone 949-6211. Shaken yet standing firm.
I was not built to break.
This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I want to thank all of those listeners who either send in emails or WhatsApp messages as well. We know that when you take the time to write something, you certainly have a strong belief in what you're sharing one way or the other, whether or not it is something that you composed yourself or information that you have obtained from other sources. One listener has written and said, "Good morning, trust all is well." Said they were able to catch the end of the conversation with the last caller and point out that while he makes some valid points, we must also recognize that back then, 40 plus years ago, the world didn't have as much experience in research and development of making vaccine. The data now is more extensive given the many diseases which have been born over the many decades as well. So I want to thank that listener for sharing that information with us as well. Ms. Susan, any callers on hold? Okay. I'm going to share with you during the course of the show as well the Ministry of Tourism and Transport, the appointment of the members of various boards as well. I'm going to share that with you. Hopefully time will allow during the course of the show as well. I think that it is important. We see our Caymanians being appointed to these boards, many with experience as well, and we're certainly happy that they have decided to come on board with that. So if we don't have any callers, then I will share this with you. And it says the Ministry of Tourism and Transport is pleased to announce the Cabinet has approved the appointment of new members of the Board of Directors of Cayman Islands Airport Authority, CIAA, Cayman Airways, CAL, and the Port Authority, Cayman Islands, PACI. Minister for Tourism, and Transport, Honorable Kenneth Bryan, commented that he was proud of the composition of the new boards and he was pleased to have achieved a more desirable gender balance with more women able to bring their unique perspective to these important boards. In extending a warm welcome to the new members, the minister noted that he is confident that the members' combined expertise will significantly enhance the operations of some of the country's most important assets. And I'll give you one composition of one board, and then we have a call. I'll take that caller, and later on I'll give you of another one. So Cayman Islands Airport Authority, Mr. Johan Moxham, will be taking over the helm of the Cayman Islands Airport Authority Board of Directors, having been appointed to serve as chairman. Mr. Moxham has over 18 years of experience in the international financial services industry and is an advocate for good governance in both public and private sector entities. He is currently the managing partner of Lariston International Management Limited. Joining Mr. Moxham on the Cayman Islands Airport Authority Board of Directors are Marva Reed, Deputy Chair, Roy Grant, Director, Nathaniel Tibbetts, Director, Alfred Thompson Jr., Director, Jacqueline Haynes, Director, Jonathan Eady, Director, Strand Barden, Chief Officer, Ministry of Tourism and Transport, Director, Collector of Customs or Nominee, Director, Chief Executive Officer, Cayman Islands Airport Authority, ex-officio member as the Secretary. Goes on to say, the new Cayman Islands Airport Authority board members are highly regarded professionals and leaders in their respective fields, said Honorable Kenneth Bryan, Minister of Tourism and Transport. Their diverse expertise will provide strong strategic direction to the management team of the Cayman Islands Airport Authority and bodes well for the ongoing positive development of the sector. I wish them well during their tenure and look forward to working with them. And the CIAA, that is the Cayman Islands Airport Authority Board of Directors, have been appointed for a period of 2 years, effective from the 10th of September 2021. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Good morning. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. Top of the line to you. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm fine. Doing
Good.
fine.
Just wanted to talk about the traffic.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, it every day you can see the exponential growth of additional vehicles on the road. So building additional roads is not the answer.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The government doesn't have the resources to keep up with the amount of vehicles on the road. But I don't think that everybody having had a vehicle for so long, and even more than one, but anyway, they can only drive one at a time. But certainly, I don't think people are just going to drop the vehicle and take a bus just like that. I think it's going to take some time. I think it has to be a growing acceptance, and I'm wondering if some government-private partnership could be again brought to the fore to give this problem some due consideration, because really traffic this morning is as tight as corn on the cob again, and I'm for public transportation to work. It must not only be as reliable, but also they're going to have a concept of the appropriate buses that can go into side roads to drop off people if they take the bus.
Yeah.
Because, for example, just a street comes to my mind. Let's take, for example, Wilty Drive in Lower Valley.
Mm-hmm.
That's about 3 or 4 miles. What a road network. If you drop somebody off at the road and they're living, further inland, that's a long walk.
Mm-hmm.
And someone who has a car there is not going to leave the car and then have to walk 2 miles from the road.
But do you think we can adopt a system whereby you really have a public transport system that drops a person right off to their doorstep? We're going
to have to do something to get people to accept this sort of concept, because for the use of a better word, we are quite spoiled in our ways, and having a vehicle that you can take on the road and go where you want all the time, it's something which is ingrown now. But if you have a nice reliable public bus, air conditioned, well maintained, with schedules, but you're going to have some sort of incentive to let people accept it because of the service quality that it gives, and dropping off people not to their doorstep, but certainly if a side road is quite deep, there must be a part of the sort of concept of public transportation. As part of that concept must be some ability to recognize that people are not going to leave their car at home to walk 2 miles from the main road to back to the house and have a car parked in the yard. But it's a very difficult. It's a very vexatious topic whenever it's brought up, but it's something that we need to address because it's not getting any better. And really, some evenings you can spend 2 hours before if you're working in town and you traveling out of town to Bordentown or beyond, you can take 2 hours before you reach home.
But so, caller, where do you think that we need to start with this? Because we had in a previous administration, I think there was a committee that was established. I don't know if the report was ever made public in relation to the importation, a policy regarding the importation of vehicles. Nothing has been done on that. So as we tread water, the situation becomes compounded. More and more vehicles are coming in to the country. More and more persons who we will probably say should not be allowed to import vehicles are allowed to import them. So, when do we start?
Right. It's going to take a government with some muscle and some resolve and also commitment to the idea that something must be done which is effective. And I think having some sort of a moratorium on vehicle imports, I'm sure that sounds draconian and even socialist, but something has got to be done, because otherwise we are going to reach a point in the next 6 months, 8 months again, that we're going to have gridlock, and then the only solution is, we got to build more roads, and we just can't do that.
No,
we just cannot do that. And a good, reliable public transport system could work, but it's not going to work right away. It's going to take time for people to see it and observe. Those who have cars to say, okay, well, I'm prepared to leave my car at home now or park it at a central location. That could be one other alternative. Government buys a huge tract of land in the districts, or it could be Crown land already, where they could clear out and make it a sort of central parking spot. Like how they have in Disney World. If you go to Disney World, you leave the theme park and then you take the trolley to a huge parking area. But I think something has got to be done in a way of thinking to solve the solution beyond save for expending public funds ad nauseum on an issue which is not going to be addressed by building additional roads.
And we have to jump on it as quickly as possible. We cannot continue to tread water when it comes to that as well. Caller, I want to thank you. Thank you very much, for raising that as well. It is extremely important. And basically, it has been mum as far as the subject is concerned. Now we aren't hearing a whole lot about it.
Right,
thanks. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. If we do have any caller on hold, we will take that call as soon as we return. So please stay tuned.
Had a look at those investment options yet?
Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12. But you look relaxed.
That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy, so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamt Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch.
The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamt Motors, Walkers Road.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacist will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
This is your radio.
I don't want no chupapa-did-a, chupapa-did-a. Don't want no chupapa-did-a in my dumping hole.
Thank you for making us your choice. Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Before I go to the phone lines, we always hear about negative experiences that people have either with government service or even in the private sector. And I just want to give a big shout out on behalf of a lady who went to the subway location on Anderson Square last night, and she was treated like royalty by one of the staff members there, a young man. He really took care of her, went beyond the call of duty, and she just wanted to give a big shout out to that young man. This morning, like we in Cayman say, it's a saying, I think it's almost universal. I didn't know him from the man on the moon, but he was so nice to me, and I left there feeling so grateful and appreciative of the way that that young man treated me as a customer. So I want to give a big shout out. You know who, if you're listening, the young man, you know who you are, at the subway, Anderson Square last night, and a lady that you were extremely you treated her well, treated her extremely well, and she is greatly appreciative of that as well. Any callers, Miss Susan? Okay, no callers. So let's go back to Cayman Airways appointments, because this is important for you to know who's in charge in terms of the various boards. So let's take a look at the Port Authority of the Cayman Islands, and you may have heard this on, let's go to Cayman Airways first. Cayman Airways. So the Cayman Airways board is chaired by Mr. Jude Scott, the Chief Executive Officer of Cayman Finance. Amongst his many achievements, Mr. Scott was formerly an audit partner at Ernst & Young, Cayman Islands, and a previous Chief Executive Officer at Maples & Calder. Mr. Scott is joined by the following new appointed members: Mr. John Paul Clark, Deputy Chair; Miss Stephanie Ebanks, Director; Miss Shanna Miles, Director, Mr. Robert Hurlston, Director, Mr. Marco Archer, Director, Mr. Chris Bergstrom, Director, Mr. Tyrone Wells, Director. And, of course, the minister again goes on to talk about his appreciation and his of the members. Spoke about Mr. The chairperson, and he also said that we are also privileged to have a former Cayman Airways captain with decades of airline experience and a professor of aerospace engineering and industry and systems engineering, as well. Port Authority, Cayman Islands. In accordance with the Port Authority Law 1999 revision, Cabinet approved the appointment of Mr. Klein Glidden, Jr. to serve as chairman of the board of directors. Mr. Glidden is a previous member of the Legislative Assembly from 2000 to 2013, during which time he served as Deputy Speaker, Councillor for Communications and Works, Councillor and Minister of Tourism and Development and Commerce. Mr. Glidden is joined by the following newly appointed members: Mr. Richard Parchment, Deputy Chair; Miss Irma Arch, Member, Shipping Agent; Mr. Edgar A. Borden, Member. That Mr. Borden has been reappointed. Mrs. Jacqueline Scott Ranking, Member, reappointed as well. Mr. Matthew Adam, Member. Miss Giovanni Bolin Powery, Member as well. And it goes on to say Mr. Glidden will be supported by an exceptional mix of existing members working together with new appointees from the business community to oversee the important responsibilities associated with the importation of goods, recognizing our increasing population, rapid growth in the importation of goods, and the limitations of the port's current location. This board has several key areas to consider while overseeing the port's operations, and I am confident that they are more than up to the challenge. That's a statement by Minister Bryan as well. It also goes on to say that in light of his constitutional responsibility for tourism and transport, Minister Bryan confirmed that he has high expectations from the newly appointed board and that he looks forward to establishing an effective working relationship while maintaining open channels of communication. The new board appointments for Cayman Airways and the Port Authority of the Cayman Islands are for a period of 2 years, effective from the 23rd of August 2021 as well. And goes on to say that the Minister of Tourism would like to take the opportunity to thank former Cayman Airways, Port Authority, and Airports Authority board members for their years of dedicated service as well. And I'm sure that we will continue to hear more in terms of board appointments as well. Any callers on the line, Miss Susan? No callers. We're not a popular show this morning. That's okay. We do have WhatsApp messages coming in and everything as well. And I'm sure that something will strike a note at some point in time, or strike a chord, I should say. Okay, so here is one. Says, good morning to all. It would be foolish and dangerous to open up our borders at this time, especially next month when they're talking about opening up without quarantine. Look at Jamaica and Florida. What is happening? Please, government, don't open up our borders until these places that the airlines fly to and from have the COVID under better control. Thank you. Also, talking about traffic in Cayman. Cayman is the easiest place in the world to own a car or a vehicle. That needs to change. It should be 100% duties on second-hand cars and 60% on new cars imported in these Cayman Islands. Too many persons owning cars and can't drive properly. That part is so true, that last part about the proper driving as well. I mean, in Cayman, it's almost like driving a vehicle is more of a pastime than it is a necessity in some instances as well. But we have to address the issue. We have to take it on. The longer we wait, the more compounded the problem. Another topic that I see starting to gain some traction in the Cayman Islands is the ownership of property. Ownership of property. I don't know how many of you, and I'm not seeking to take credit for this, but many years ago, I have been talking about the fact that so much land in the Cayman Islands is owned by speculators, people who purchase land on speculative grounds, hoping to turn it into a profit later on. We now see articles in newspapers, talking about where we are as far as land ownership compared to other countries in the world. That's another boat that if we don't jump on to it at this point in time, we're going to be left. We're going to be left behind as well. Okay, have about 3 minutes before we go to the break. We do have a caller. Let's see if we can at least accommodate that caller before that break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning, Ose.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, and you?
Okay. Did you get that insurance situation sorted out or resolved?
Well, I just now went right away. I just had to finish cleaning up the yard and get more pictures. They couldn't get no estimate at the time because everybody you call, I might have called about 6 people, and 3 responded. The other 3, they, up to now, I not got a call from them. So. But hopefully, we'll see where that I not even finished the whole complete. I got 2 half-decent estimate now more about the roof and in the interior of the house. Still the back porch and all kinds of things. So still got that. But I just can't go over this side so frustrated. Just to know definitely, you have to have it mandatory. You have to have the insurance if you got loan or mortgage. But at the end of the day, I don't think it should be any rate tape whenever it comes to moving the goalpost when it comes to making claims and stuff. It's supposed to be straightforward. I got an insurance for $100, make my claim for $5. Don't come and tell me no foolishness about I owe on the insurance. That's stupidness. Understanding government need to make them pull that foolishness. I don't know if it's an international thing or just like here in Cayman that they use every little trick in the book to keep your money. You understand? But, that's not what I call them about. But thanks again for asking because I finally get around to deal with it. Okay. We're talking about this reopening the borders. I know the Premier and them have gotten a lot of backlash and a lot of pressure from the building community. They are the greedy individuals. So far, this country been up and going, it's been flourishing, and you got to accept it or not. You know, however one that vaccinated, because one thing I paid close attention when it comes to this pandemic, this pandemic is killing people for sure. And need it be natural way spreading or biological way where what cause it with it and get it to mutate. But at the end of the day, I think I don't care when nobody wants to say you all come to Cayman, we quarantining. And all the government do just situate a certain hotel like what they've been using and use that for anybody that choose to come to Cayman, you will be quarantined because previously you had one individual, it was just a few months back. On the 5th final day for them to come out, they tested positive. You understand? They tested positive, but yet they plan to drop the quarantine time period. That's a very, very, very big mistake the Premier and they're making. And I don't care when nobody wants to say they may know or Dr. Lee and them may be getting information, but everything that Dr. Lee getting is perfectly accurate because Right now, if you pay attention to CNN, a lot of the news stations and where what you getting his facts from, at the end of the day, majority of them countries are saying, no, OCI will always fight them with this because the kids now, they want to try to force the kids. I seen an article yesterday, a video, where I believe a 2-year-old died from the vaccine. You understand? So at the end of the day, none of fake news. Something you always remember, just like how Mall Road back in the day we were growing up, we get a little piece here and there. That's the same thing what we're getting from even to international news outlets. Another thing, when you talk about the roads and the car congestion, the problem comes in. No one jump off a plane supposed to be able to come to our country and go on a car. You're buying local. You're buying a second-hand one. The caller that or the email that you got before where they're saying about tax things 100%, we don't want to make Cayman into no hostage country where they're forcing you to keep you from bringing in carbon.
And some of them will pay that 100% duty too.
They're the ones that can afford it. That's true. They're the ones that can afford it. But what happened to the poor Caymanians that can't really afford that? So that needs to take off the table. And the person that probably said that, that's probably somebody that well off. I don't agree with that one. No way in God's name we can afford to work on any roads widening or highing or whatever. We could do all the curving. That's how you put them out that car problem.
Okay.
On the other hand, we just need to go with the flow and just pray to God that this administration continue listening to the public and working with them, because so far so good. And I don't care about say some of the things that I see the backbenchers been doing or the opposition been doing. Listen to me, they don't have no room to point fingers. They never given. All of them were the educated fools that they're sitting on and that. They got the education, but kids in primary school made better choices than them. And I'm sick and tired of this country where we're pounding up each other. We got to accolade them when they do good, and whenever do bad, point them out. And it's constructive criticism. And in this country, we're not supposed to have no foreign entity come in here and tell us to move the goalpost in order for them to fit in or to change their narratives and stuff. Full time now. All this foolishness with the beach erosion, that incident down by Barbicide Road, they need to either put that, they can't take and move the road or anything, put that blockade that they got, the metal barrier, the pile they put there, they need to build stilts so the water could run up underneath there, and maybe they could get that beach back. Until when they got something, the water could go in and out naturally, we could always have this problem. The government needs to be bold and make the approach. Listen, planning, you're doing this thing wrong. You understand? Gina and them make suggestions and they're going against it. That means what is it that you have in boards for? Got
to go to our new commercial break, but I want to thank you very much for that. Covered a lot, and thanks for all the feedback that you've given. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
To those affected by a hurricane, the damage is far greater than the eye can see. It's the helplessness and uncertainty you feel when you have no electricity or running water. It's the pain of experiencing damage to your home. But there are people right here that can help. We're CG Britke. We're your neighbors. We live here and work here too. We're always ready to answer calls and to process your claims as quickly as possible. So when a storm turns your life upside down, we're here to turn it around. CG Britke. Good like that.
So, do you have your tickets?
What tickets?
Your tickets for UCCI's first ever alumni homecoming. They're on sale now.
Hey, I don't want to miss that. When is it?
October 28th. There'll be a dinner gala, silent auction, live entertainment, and more. It's a chance to reconnect with UCCI, past classmates, and those instructors that helped change your life.
Where do I get my tickets?
At Eventpro. They have discounted early bird tickets for only $75 per person. But after September 25th, prices are due to go up.
The alumni homecoming sounds great. I'm going to eventpro.ky right now.
Oh, Cayman moon.
The voice of the Cayman Islands, Radio Cayman.
Shining down from above.
We love our listeners.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record. with Orit Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to the phone lines again. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Sound lonely today.
Yes.
Anyway, I just thought I would throw in my 2 bits on a couple of things.
Sure. Go right ahead.
I agree with the previous caller that something must be done or should be done pertaining the traffic or the number of cars on this island that's on a road that's basically, like he expressed, that like a corn cob. They're close together, the corn on a cob. It's really getting disgusting when you try to go on some of these roads at certain times, especially, although it's nearly all day long nowadays, it looks like. I think definitely something has to be done about the busing system. It might be kind of far-fetched for some of them to have to go into some of these little roads, but again, as he expressed, a person can't hardly walk 2 miles to get to a bus stop. If you got to walk that far, they're not going to take the bus. Or they can provide areas in certain areas, provide a space that people could park and ride, as the normal term is. And buses could go and pick people up there if they have their own cars. They don't have to come to town from East End or Side, wherever, on a daily basis if they got a good, reliable bus service. Because, and again, the cars should be forced to carpool. People should be forced to carpool instead of every car coming with one person in it. And that is a waste of energy and congesting the place more and more all the time. It's kind of hard to say that a person shouldn't be able to own a car and put the price so high that it might be prohibitive, but something definitely has to be done. Imagine when we open up that we got tourists here. I don't know, they'll have to stay put wherever they go to stay, or they're not going to be able to get out of their driveway hardly because of the traffic, the amount of traffic that we have now. So it's going to be terrible once we open up from that standpoint, even more so than it is now.
Yep.
But anyway, it takes a sensible solution to make that work. It might cost government something to have to subsidize certain portions in order to encourage people to start using the buses. And the buses will need to be, I would say, cordial in order to drop people off at their workplaces and so on, instead of half a mile away from their jobs and so on. That'll take them another long distance or long walk, and which is inconvenient for them.
So where should we start with this? Should we start with the limiting the importation of cars? Should we start with the carpooling, or should we start with subsidizing some sort of public transport, or we need to do a little bit of all of those at the same time?
They might need to do a little bit all at the same time,
okay.
But I do believe, I hate to say to prevent a person from buying a car if they're able to buy one and for their convenience. And a lot of this is because, why it's so many here is because of the lack of a good, dependable public service, bus service. But I don't think everybody wants to own a car that has a little job. They probably spend more trying to maintain a little used vehicle than it's worth for them. But if they can't get to their jobs on a reliable system or in a reliable system, that's the only alternative, and that's what's congesting things so much for us.
Yep.
Another thing is, people think that driving 10 miles below the speed limit is probably safe, and prefer to do that than be 5 miles above it. I'm here to tell you that causes more accidents than it makes sense. And when you get in a long line and you got one person driving 5-10 miles below the speed limit, it is frustrating, to say the least. For instance, you get on Spots Road, you can't get out of that lane before you get from, where is it, Prospect to Savannah. And that's a long distance to be dragging behind someone that wants to take their sweet time or can't drive any better. to be safe, they drive slow.
Yes,
I think
yes.
they're driving safe. What that encourages is people to overtake them, even on that double yellow line, to get ahead of them. When if they were doing the speed limit within a mile or two, it would be comfortable for everybody.
But doesn't that speak to the fact that we not everyone really is designed to own a car and to be out there driving? So and I think that talks about the licensing system.
I say if I had my will, I would take half of them off the road because if they can drive, they don't practice it properly. They're reckless. They overtake with no signals. They bore in and out just like once they find space to get their nose through. Even their tail end can hit somebody else. They don't mind that. It looks like I don't know how they miss each other. They go in between these little narrow gaps between two vehicles and stuff just to get a few miles faster than they were doing behind them. Some people just don't have the patience to drive behind someone. And a long distance, especially, like I say, if it's 10 miles below the speed limit, because people have limited time to get to certain places, and they can't sit and waste time on the road just because someone wants to take their sweet time. And you know what? I've noticed many times, anytime you see someone driving real slow, you can bet they're on the phone. That's one thing that the phone will do, is slow you down instead of make you speed.
Right, or they start to drift as well when you see them drifting out of the lane, yeah.
Right. I mean, I might be guilty myself sometimes because sometimes you get a call and you're expecting something that it's important for you to answer. I will try to do that. I don't try not to call people or deal with it unnecessarily, but it is nearly impossible not to answer your phone at certain times. So I think that's a little bit rigid. Using your phone, $500, I think it is. But people just use it unnecessarily, so that's what causes a lot of the problems. That's what causes accidents. And a lot of these are not accidents. They're just carelessness that cause these accidents. And people taking chances that they shouldn't be taking. You can pass. You see the speed limit signs, the digital signs for the speed limit, and so on. And it's frightening when you see some people pass those signs, or like 20 miles above the speed limit. And I'm not one that doesn't. I wouldn't say I don't speed once in a while if I need to, if I'm in a hurry or something. But I found, and I've been driving 60 odd years now. I've found that if you're sober and know how to drive, a little speed doesn't kill you if you have the speed at certain times.
Yeah. And once you're paying attention.
Or drunk, and I'll almost put my head on a chopping block, that nearly every one of these accidents that we're experiencing, people are drunk or drinking or intoxicated with something.
Yep. Yeah.
And in most cases, it's alcohol. That's what we need to work on. We need to shut down some of these businesses or try to curtail the use of alcohol on our streets. That's one of the major problems we have. Fortunately, too many people, I guess, wouldn't agree to reduce that. But it's an insult to me to go into every gas station and the first thing you face is a display of rum bottles, which is, to me, like I say, I've never drank alcohol in my life. And I'm not saying that it would kill you if you drank a bit, but I was brought up without the use of alcohol, and I'm sure it has helped me to keep me from accidents many times. When I was young, we used to drive real fast. Then there was only a few cars here. We could fly up and down between Georgetown and West Bay, and late at night we used to do it. I remember, sounds bad, but from West Bay Cemetery to Georgetown Cemetery on that old washboard road wasn't even tar and chip. In 4 minutes, we could do that in the night. No traffic.
Mr. Tommy, I want thank you very much for that. We've reached top of the hour, or 9 o'clock news, but thanks for your contribution to those particular topics as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 268 COVID-19 tests. 4 came back positive, all travelers in isolation. Only 70% of Cayman's population is fully vaccinated. An historic trial is beginning in France over the 2015 Paris attacks, which left 130 people dead. The shooting and bombing assault by Islamist State group extremists was the worst post-World War II atrocity in France. The only surviving attacker will appear in court with 13 other defendants at a purpose-built facility in Paris. The trial is being described as the biggest in France's modern history. And anti-Taliban forces in Afghanistan have asked the international community not to recognize the new government announced by the Islamists on Tuesday. The all-male cabinet consisting entirely of Taliban leaders or their associates is, quote, illegal, they say. The U.S. has expressed concern that the interim government includes figures linked to attacks on U.S. forces. And the European Union says the Islamist group has reneged on promises to make it, quote, inclusive and representative. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
hello, this is Aunt Julia.
You're listening to Radio Cayman,
The best thing to happen to Cayman.
the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, Radio Cayman, Radio Cayman.
Then, now, forever.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning, and sorry, and welcome back to For the Record. We do have a caller on hold, but I want to share this WhatsApp message in the meantime as well. And this one says, I have never heard any advice on how to build our immune system from the health department. Vitamin D, vitamin C, and other things like obesity, diabetes. Only option is the experimental vaccine that, by the way, no one pays for the side effects. Only the person who signs away all recourse. Well, I think that the public health department certainly advocates for good health. As a matter of fact, the ministry is now called the Ministry of Health and Wellness. So their concentration is not to improve your, to bring you back to good health after your health has deteriorated, but also to keep you in good health so that you don't end up with a deterioration of your health. But it's like you have a car. This may not be a good analogy, but it's like you have a car and you decide you're going to put coolant in the radiator after the radiator already has started to leak. And now you're gonna end up putting coolant in it, or to try to make things better. If you're already suffering from some of these issues like obesity or diabetes, you may be at risk in terms of taking the vaccine. That is where you would consult with your physician to determine whether or not you're in a position to do so. But addressing obesity and diabetes at this point in time is not going to prevent you from getting COVID-19. And you've heard the vaccines will not prevent you from getting COVID-19 as well. The vaccines will reduce the severity of the illness. Just like it doesn't stop you from passing it on to someone else, it reduces the severity. That, folks, is all that we have at this point in time, the vaccine. It's not only being said here in the Cayman Islands, it's being said all over the world, despite the fact that we have the anti-vaxxers and those persons who are vaccine hesitant. But the vaccine is all that we have at this point. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, back again, Osi.
Good morning again.
Yeah, I normally don't call it twice, but
No problem.
You really left me with a really good question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I really did think about it. And so, Osi, I have to ask you I have to respond with another question, Osi.
But you know you can't answer a question with a question, right? Or you shouldn't.
I know that. But if Dr. Steve were there, he would tell you, yeah, that can work. Yeah. That can work. But sorry.
Uh-huh.
The question you asked me, you said for the greater for the group, right? So let me ask you this then. I'm sorry. What really has the group decided good for me? What really has the good done for me? The group done for me?
When you say the group, what you mean? You mean like as an individual or being, a part of the community? What has that done for you?
The same basis you mean for the group. I'm saying that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The same group you're talking about is the same group I'm talking about. What good has the group did for me? When they decided to take away the free health care for the children up to 18, what good that did for me? When they had it that the cigarettes could have been smoking on the airplanes, what good that had done for me? And when you say...
Well, as an individual, yes, it does, it benefits you because it doesn't then expose you, using the smoking on an aircraft as an example, it doesn't expose you to secondhand smoke.
No, but you used to can smoke on the airplane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that we used to do that weren't good for us that we now realize that it isn't. And you remember the uproar that we had about that? Remember the uproar that we had in the Cayman Islands when legislation was put in place about you not being to smoke indoors, and all of the naysayers and what it was going to do in terms of the sale of cigarettes and everything else? What do we hear about it now? People are doing it, and they're basically adhering to the legislation, and all that the naysayers said was going to happen never happened.
Yeah, but that was after the fact when they proved smoking in small spaces was very bad for the lungs. So even everybody that smoked or didn't smoke kind of said, well, yeah, we can kind of agree, on that. Right. So back to one last thing with the WhatsApp, when they were referring about back in the days, let's remember that back in the days, yes, no big technology was available back in them days. I understand that. But you also remember, too, that there wasn't really much of a choice. Not choices, of a choice that you had back in them days. Not true?
Yeah, that is true. And some of the choices that we have now are not really viable choices as well. We have more persons who have the ability to influence persons in a negative way by putting out fake news, putting out false information out there. So, while sometimes we may think that as a society we have advanced because of technology, in many instances we have actually regressed.
We have not, and those decisions on technology was made by groups, not a group, by groups.
True.
That didn't involve me and you. All the infrastructure and all that going on around here. I can guarantee you, Mr. O.C., if I was to ever step foot on any one of them without being recognized or escorted by somebody that lives there, I can guarantee you they would call and be suspicious on me. So I can't say that you building anything really any good for me. So when it comes to that, and I understand that question, that's a very tricky question. I understand that. That's where you have to get me to dig into my morality. You understand?
Okay.
And I did. Definitely I did. But when I check out all the crosses that the group, not one single person, the groups has done to me and all the rest of us, just like me.
Yeah.
I can't say. All I can say is if you have been vaccinated and you're still able to contract, get the virus, I would please ask you to please stay away. Give me my 5 or 6 feet away, please. Definitely, I will stay away. I will definitely cross anybody. You know what I mean? Stay away from everybody. But if you got a vaccine, you walking up around everybody, and you still coughing.
We all have to do our part. Those that are vaccinated and those that are not vaccinated as well. Thank you very much, caller, for that. Thank you. Going to try to grab another call before we go to the next commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning. How are you?
I am very grateful. Thank you. Before I say what I called to say, I just want to say that I second what you said to that caller just now about technology. And because, in my opinion, what it has done, it's left a generation very ignorant.
Yep.
So, anyway, such is life, I guess. But what I wanted to call about this morning, Mr. Connor, was, the school buses.
Okay.
And especially those that do the high schools. Because apparently the ones that do the primary schools will actually drive into the community and stop, house by house and pick the children up. But the ones that do in the high schools, the children have to be walking out on the main road, standing on the corner, waiting for the bus. And in my opinion, while it's unfair, it's dangerous because those children are standing there and, they're out of your view, out of the neighbor's view. Cars can hit them, drive off, and then when it's rain and stuff, they still have to go out there to catch the bus. And I was wondering if the bus companies, since that's what they're insisting on, would they not then consider doing proper bus shelters so that the children could at least sit down under the cover where they insist that they're going to pick them up and drop them off. And I hope that they're listening, and if they're not, whomever this falls under, I hope that they're listening and they would also give some consideration to this.
So you think that the bus companies should bear that responsibility, or should that be a part of government's responsibility in addition to providing bus service, that they should provide bus stops as well?
Well, Mr. Connor, as far as I understand it, the bus companies have a contract with the government to get paid. So it's a service they are being paid for. Now, the bus companies and the government can work that out. I'm not going to instigate or suggest that one must do it or the other. But I sincerely think it is something that has to be considered. It is very dangerous. And bearing in mind, these children are on the road at 6:30 in the morning or shine. And as I said, they're on the main road being collected. And I'm not talking about what I believe. I'm talking about what I've witnessed. And, they have to cross the street sometimes to even take the bus.
Yeah.
As you know, our buses are left-hand drive. And we drive on the left, so they're opening onto the traffic. Maybe the bus owners don't have children taking the bus, and they don't realize that it leaves parents, or in my case, a grandmother, very nervous about the situation.
If I could opine on the situation in terms of the bus stops, I believe, and I know people, and me included, I'm included in that as well, that I don't think that government has to provide everything. But I think the government is better positioned in terms of the bus stops because the government has the power of eminent domain, in terms of using private property to put those bus stops or those bus shelters on for school children. It would be more onerous for bus companies to be able to do that than the government.
Well, like I said, it needs to be sorted out. I am in no position to dictate to anyone who should do it. As I said, the government and the bus companies, when they're going over the contract, that is something that could be included in the contract.
Okay.
This is our children we're talking about.
Yes.
It is very dangerous.
We have to protect them.
Not even like back in the day when we went to school, that, we could walk into school and it was very safe because everybody was watching out for everyone. That's not the life we live in today, and this is extremely dangerous.
Okay, Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Really food for thought, and I agree. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Had a look at those investment options yet?
Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12. But you look relaxed.
That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy, so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19, it is important to stay prepared for other disasters now that we're in the hurricane season. Here are some post-hurricane safety tips from the Department of Environmental Health. Did you know you must ensure all utensils are washed with detergent and rinsed with hot water if they make contact with flood water? For full guidance on post-hurricane safety tips, visit www.deh.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, the voice, the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have 4 callers queued up, so we're going to ask each caller to please be as brief as possible, bearing in mind someone is waiting behind you. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, O.C.
Hey, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
I'm going to try to be as brief as possible, but it's so much that needs to be said, you know.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll jump right into it.
Sure.
Regarding the traffic situation, public transport, and all the other ramifications.
Mm-hmm.
The previous caller spoke to it this morning, and he had some good points, talking about, you know, that public transport is going to have to be provided into the various subdivisions and other off-roads in order to get people to be interested, to leave their cars and take the public transport. And you know, it's not an easy sell. It's not going to be easy sell, like he said. And it's a case of which comes first, you know, the chicken and the egg. Should we provide public transport to entice people to try and take, or should we restrict the ownership of cars to try to entice people to take the public transport?
Yeah.
My take is that as long as the situation stands as it is now with the current way, the bus, you know, public transport system, people are not going to want to be giving up their cars. It's going to be difficult when you can get a good public transport system, but even more so now. And you can't deny people access to, you know, to mobility just say, okay, we're going to ban cars or we're going to ban a certain section of people from owning cars or whatever. Because people have to get around. They have to
you have to have an alternative. Yeah.
Right. And if there is no proper alternative, which is a proper, dependable, regulated, all-encompassing public transport system, people are going to keep buying cars. And we're going to get to that situation that you referred to of gridlock. And, so we really need, the authorities really need now to step up and look at this issue, because it has to be, a little bit of everything. But until we provide a proper, like I said, public transport, and the way how it is set up now, it ain't going to happen. It either has to be something that government runs, which we don't want government to get involved in everything, or it's going to have to be like a private companies given a franchise to operate a public transport system in certain areas or throughout the island, as the case may be. And
maybe subsidized by government as well, because it may not be, if it's not profit making, you have to have an incentive there. Yeah,
because you have to then in order to do that, government can maybe subsidize or give them a break on the import duties on the vehicle, subsidize the fuel for a period of time, until things can get going. But like I said, the key thing with any public transport system has to be the coverage, because dropping people off on the main road to walk half mile or a mile into Prospect Park is a good example. Northward, we have other areas like that they won't be able to go to every single avenue and go door to door, but they can set up a route, because I know, like, I'm familiar with Kingston and where I went to school in the States, where the buses go into neighborhoods. They don't go on every single avenue or road, but they go that sufficiently enough that people can walk. It is not far to walk to a bus stop, to get the bus.
Yep.
Secondly, that leads to my second point, proper bus stops. You need to have, I heard a caller previously talking about it for school children. We need bus stops for everybody if we're going to have a public transport system, because people need protection from sun, from rain, from whatever. And you have to have designated points where the buses stop. It can't be this one-stop driver every 15, 20 feet. You know what I mean?
But we do have some now here in Cayman Islands that are provided by one of our civic organizations.
Yeah, Rotary does some now. But it has to be, a much more. It could be continued since they've started it. Government could work with them. But it has to be some kind of concerted thing that we sit down, plot out bus routes so that they know where to place the bus stops, that people will know, well, I have to go to the bus stop in order to catch the bus.
Yeah, and the time that they need to be there. If it runs, every hour, on the hour, or every half an hour, or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. So you know that.
Yeah.
With every 20 minutes or half, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And that will vary at different times of the day, depending on the because in the morning and the evening, of course, it'll be more frequent.
Okay.
During the day, it could be less frequent.
Yeah.
But and secondly,
very quickly, because we still got 3 behind you.
Just one last point.
Sure.
We have to take into consideration when they're constructing roads going forward to make for that where the bus can go.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're gonna acquire property for the road, acquire it for the bus stop to go in at the same time. Yeah.
And indent it so that the buses can pull off from the main road so that there's no obstruction.
Yeah. Good point. Excellent.
There's so many other things that we need to be touched about. Just those few for now. But we definitely, I don't know which, we've been hearing this thing going on as it can, there's kicking down the road, but we definitely have to do something because the situation ain't getting no better.
Okay, got you. Thank you very much. And one of our listeners said in Northside, some of the buses only go as far as the gas station in Old Man Bay and no further. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, sir. How
good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I know you're going to cut me off in 2 minutes, but it's okay.
3. I'll give you 3.
I agree with a lot of things that gentleman just said. I didn't call for that. And you know what happened? We came on with this transportation and these public buses that is so-called public. We had no vision then, and we have no vision now. This island continued to grow. No one saw a vision to put something properly in place. I just want to talk about the lady who called earlier in regards to the school bus stops to the kids and so forth. I just wanted to say that in our high school bus bus shelters in Cayman from day one. They already got these little shelters up there, and they got even in the places where majority of the kids start up in the morning for a bus. And another thing, my company I work with, their door is on the left-hand side. So when our kids get off, they get off on the left-hand side. If they got to walk across the street, then the car is supposed to stop for these kids to cross. Mm-hmm. Some do and some don't. I have seen my life so close, and so many times walking kids across is getting off the bus, and cars are shooting across the bus doors, cars, trucks, and motorbikes, and you name it. But anyhow, we haven't had no bus shelters that came out from day one. I've been crying for bus shelters for the kids for my equipment job, and I haven't seen one in place. And a lot of these buses are subcontract up now, and these subcontract bus owners not going to go and build any bus stops because the property not belongs to them.
Yeah, it's private property that they would be building.
It has to go through the government. Mm-hmm. Has to verify where these bus stops can be located for these students to be picked up. And I'm going to tell you, OC, it is desperately needed here in this island because some of our kids are going to get hurt real bad. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to our kids going up in the morning, especially when the time change soon, it's going to be real dark. Parents need to try to start putting some reflection vessels on the kids so they can be seen because in 6 o'clock it's going to be dark and another month or two. So parents got to chip in this situation and help protect their children too. And so forth. They expect the government to do everything. They expect the bus wardens to do everything and the bus owners to do everything. We all got to work together. We've got to work together. So I'll leave you at that.
All right. Thank you very much. Very good points being made as well. We can take one more call before the break, Miss Susan. Okay, let's go. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Good morning. How are you?
Your caller before the previous caller, the lady caller, who spoke about school buses debiting children on the right-hand side. I think by law, all the school buses, in spite of them being left-hand drive, they have to demit on the left,
right.
and they have all been adjusted.
Converted to that, okay.
Yes, they have been. She may have seen children who appear to be coming from the right, but I can assure you that legally, no bus is allowed on the street with a right-hand debiting door. The other point I'd like to address is we need a two-tiered system, and I think the person was suggesting that we have vehicles go off the main to secure passengers would bring us further along. It would be important for us to have a two-tiered system where there would be a number of buses that are specifically designed just to collect passengers from within villages and bring them out to main terminals.
Good point. Excellent point.
The other thing is, you made a very important point. Only the government has the ability to declare eminent domain. I'm part of Rotary Central. We have nearly 90 bus shelters that we've designed for the public. We have challenges where we see a need for a bus shelter, and the location is critical, and yet the owner will deny that rightfully because they do so, because they have the ability to do so. So if government partnered with us and did the eminent domain, we would go ahead and build the bus shelters, and it would be without cost to government. I'd also like to, I think inevitably, we are going to have to restrict guest workers regarding access to motor vehicles. However, we will have to make sure that the egg, which is providing them access to comfortable, reasonable, safe transportation, is there before we address the issue of overcrowding of guest workers on the streets. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Very good suggestions and very good information that you have passed on to us, especially, with your involvement with Rotary as well. We're going to go to the commercial break, but I'm going to leave this teaser with you as well. This person has written in and said, I understand that Bermuda has a bus system that works well. Why try to reinvent the wheel when we could liaise with them to get ideas on how to do it? Well, here's my point on that. The people in the Cayman Islands have been spoiled when it comes to cars. The only bigger lover of an automobile than a Caymanian are those persons who live in the United States of America. We have this big love affair with our automobile, and we're not ready to give that up. Bermuda, they never had that luxury in the first place. That is why their public system has public bus transport system has been able to work, because they didn't have the other option in place before. We have an option, and we're asking people to go back on that now to something which some may consider retrograde at this point in time. Time for us to take a commercial break. Those callers who are on hold, we will take your calls as soon as we return, so please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Optical Outlook Caymanian Village location has moved. Same great services and products, new location. We've moved to Anderson Square in central Georgetown. It's a much larger space with dedicated parking. Please call us on 746-2020 to make your appointment at our new location today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Please come see the difference with Optical Outlook, Cayman's premier optical provider.
Find out about all the community happenings from nonprofit, community fundraisers, church events, and more with Radio Cayman's Community Bulletin Board 3 times daily. Don't be the one to miss out on the latest information for events taking place every day on all 3 islands. Radio Cayman's Bulletin Board, brought to you by UCCI. Study local, go far with UCCI.
Know the risks of underage drinking and be prepared to have a conversation about them. Establishing yourself as a trustworthy source of information on alcohol will make your child more inclined to ask questions and look to you for support and guidance. For tips, log on to www.ndc.ky. This message was brought to you by the National Drug Council and Radio Cayman.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Just want to say thanks for the listener who was giving Miss Susan a big shout out and bigging her up about the music that she plays on Radio Cayman. Of course, Miss Susan isn't one to blow her own horn, so I'll blow it for her. And she has a huge listening audience out there as well. From 6 o'clock in the morning onwards, a huge audience that really appreciate her, and on Saturday evenings as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Osby.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Oh,
I almost gave up.
I'm glad you didn't.
I'm glad I didn't too. So I'm not going to be as long-winded as those other people.
Well, you can take a little bit more time since we kept you waiting.
God bless them. Mr. O.C., 80 years ago when I was riding my bicycle up and down to school, because in those days we didn't have lunch, we had dinner. So you would eat your dinner, go to school, and back and forth like that. It was no such word as lunch.
Yep.
It was breakfast, dinner, and supper. And I used to ride my bicycle. If it rained, you stopped at somebody's house and sheltered. Other than that, you got wet. But they were wonderful days. And even though God has allowed me to almost have my 94th birthday, I'm still here, and I thank Him. And I now have a great granddaughter. I can't thank God enough for all His blessings. So, Mr. O.C., if you were to hear I'm dead tomorrow, just say Miss Georgette said she was thankful. From the bottom of my heart, I am thankful. And God bless you, Mr. O.C., and all your family, and all the staff at Radio Cayman, and in fact, all the people on our 3 islands. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Miss Georgette, and I want you to know that you are loved by everyone. You are a Cayman Islands icon as well. We look up to you. We appreciate you. We respect you, and you are a big part of our history here in the Cayman Islands when it comes to the franchise, the voting franchise for women as well. Let's grab another caller. Caller, good morning. No more calls. Here's one I want to share with you. You've heard, and we know that the government, as far as our opening plans are concerned, cruise ships are going to. Will come at a later phase, right? But I want to share with you what the British Virgin Islands and what we may expect here in the Cayman Islands when it comes to the attitude of cruise ship passengers, depending on what protocols we seek to put in place when cruise ship passengers are allowed to enter the Cayman Islands. This was an article in the British Virgin Islands Platinum News, September the 1st, 2021. BVI given ultimatum to remove COVID-19 testing for cruise ship passengers. So there was a meeting that they had, the government officials had with the operators on the cruise operators, the local cruise operators. Says British Virgin Islands has been given an ultimatum, removing the mandatory COVID-19 rapid testing for cruise passengers or lose cruise calls to the territory. During an emergency meeting for the transportation for hire industry, in the BVI, managing director of the BVI Ports Authority said that they were seeking feedback and suggestions from the industry on the way forward. Person is quoted as saying, "We are here for a very important reason. It is a very important decision that government has to make based on recommendations that are put before them. That decision that we are going to have to make will be one that has to come as quickly as tomorrow, that coming Wednesday, if we are going to catch any more of the cruise ship industry. We have to think very carefully and make the right decisions," the person remarked. They continued, "We have made up in our minds that if they have to do they have made up, that is the cruise ships, have made up their mind that if they have to do any rapid testing on their arrival in the BVI, that they would not come to our shores And we said, before we have to weigh the consequences, do we want to take that risk? Or do we look at our future as taxi operators? We depend heavily on cruise ships when they are coming in, the restaurants, and the servers and other business places that depend on cruise ships coming. If we miss the opportunity around this time, I think we are going to have a bleak season also next year. And she goes on to explain, and I want to tell you what the decision was at the end of the day. She said that we told them to give us a chance for us to speak to as many professionals as we didn't get much time with it. In case you are wondering, we have to make a decision whether it is the bubble or otherwise it will mushroom later. Let us decide, because half a loaf is better than none. So at the end of the day, they decided that they would remove the rapid testing, and something would be done on a bi-weekly basis. But my point here, folks, is that here we had the people and the government of the BVI having to make a choice, that choice being pressured on them by the cruise industry. And their choice was, do we survive on half a loaf, or do we decide that we're basically going to close down and not have cruise ships in until all is kosher again as well? These are the pressures, folks, that we can expect. We can expect them to happen, not only from the cruise industry, but we're seeing the pressures being applied here in the Cayman Islands from the tourism industry itself, the stayover tourism. So I'm just saying that because we have to prepare ourselves for all of the pressures and all of the decisions that have to be made, including mandatory vaccinations, as well. But the pressure, if we think we have pressure now, folks, the pressure isn't here yet. More to come. We just have to be prepared for it. Let's take a commercial break, Miss Susan, and when we return, we just go straight on until 10 o'clock. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
20 years.
Remember when Crew Road had no median and Linford Pearson was only 2 lanes?
We do.
When Dirty Reeds was down the street?
We do.
We have been there for the falls, the growth, and the rise. When your body and mind needed to change, Powerhouse Gym has been here. We've skated with you. Your first date, your daughter's first time on skates, your son's first strike. From football to squash, to karate and hockey, to bowling and concerts, and everything in between.
For 20 years.
So much has changed, some for the good and some not so much. Through it all, King Sports Center has been here for you, for Cayman.
King Sports Center, celebrating 20 years as Cayman's home for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Planning for the hurricane season can be stressful, especially because COVID-19 remains a concern. To help you safely prepare, here's some tips from the Public Health Department. have a fully stocked first aid kit. Make sure you have face coverings, hand sanitizers, and disinfectants should you need to evacuate to a shelter. Ensure sufficient supply of medications for people with illnesses. Ensure immunizations are up to date, and when eligible, take your COVID-19 vaccine. Ensure a sufficient supply of food and clean water for every member of your family. For more guidance to update your emergency hurricane plans due to coronavirus, visit www.caymanprepared.gov.ky. This message is brought to you by the Public Health Department in partnership with the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before I go to the caller, you heard a MedLab commercial on there, that advertisement, and the voice of Mr. Dave Martins. And I want to let you know that he's a big individual in his home country, Guyana, as well, when it comes to music. So we had the pleasure of having him here in the Cayman Islands as well. And just to let you know, the people of Guyana appreciate him for his composing and musical talent as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Good morning. How art thou?
I am well. I think somebody else is on there someplace. But I say I like your word this morning. It's called pressure. But the government must know what they're doing, and we must know how to say no, and take the Mexican diet on stage, online, on hand. You know, let me tell you what a Mexican diet is. A man named Mr. Parchment used to tell me all the time. The Mexican diet is $10 for the next, from this paycheck till the next one. When you're 3.5 weeks into that next paycheck, and the $10 done run out, the Mexican diet, he tell me was drink a belly full of water and pull your belt tighter. We Caymanians know how to do that. Caymanians of your real Caymanians knew how to get that done. And I know you can remember that.
Yes, yes.
So mayhap we're going to have to find the steel and the steel and the Constitution to kind of like backtrack a little bit to get things like that done, because I mean, I really love the story. I love that it has happened someplace else, that we can get a little look-see, because I always knew that it would be coming. I always knew that it would be coming, because these cruise ship people don't joke. They are an international business, and that's big business, and they have lost now from 2019. It's not been so pretty to them. So little small island states, and it don't trust me, it's not just Cayman that they regard as small island states. You know, all us big islands, they regard us as really nothing. And it might come the time, if we don't want entire populations to deal out and whatever, we might have to band together as small island states and say, we're here with a message to you too, because they'll push it off, and they were the ones exporting and bringing it all over the place, you know. They'll push it off on us that we have to do this and we have to do that. Not, can we see how we can work it out? How can we be more safe? How can we do this? Because these people believe that because they got an 80 cents dollar, I'm talking in the Cayman context now, when they got 80 cents dollar to spend, that they suddenly become kings and queens and whatever they tell you what to do in your own small domain. And if lives in their country didn't matter to them, trust us all to know that nothing down here matters, because, you know, they had to find a hue and cry that Black Lives Matter abroad. It's not going to work from down here. So the government needs to find out what their position is and who they really value. And as I know, because I'm old now, that the government in Cayman, at least very recently, they don't value us at all. But we need to find out what we are going to do. And as traditional, generational Caymanians, we need to set the pace to say, we know how to get this done, because we know how to get it done. Don't want so much. We'll get through it. And then we need to begin to charge these people what they need to be paying the government. Not every time they want to construct an outhouse, They come out, the lumber got to be free. The little cement you can use got to be free. The nails got to be free. Pay your way, because I got to pay my way. But the government needs to find out what they can do and let it be known wide, high, and handsome on island to the population living here and across the seas to the population that come. If we created this bubble, and thank Mr. Alden McLaughlin very much, because there were those beating him up, killing him. But thank Mr. Alden McLaughlin very much that we got what we got, and they want to enjoy it, but they're not supposed to be given the license to kill us in the event. Not because they got $2, or that's how Charlene thinks. I don't know about nobody else.
True. Agree.
Anyway, you go with your pressure.
Thank you very much. I'm going to try to create a balance between the calls and the WhatsApp messages. One says, we have 2 callers on hold, and those will be the final calls for the morning. This person says approximately 20 years ago, information was being gathered regarding public transportation alternatives. A previous Public Transport Board member collected information critical to comprise a report to inform transport planning options for Cayman. This also included information captured covering Bermuda. We should dig this up. They also say the cruise industry are the most unscrupulous operatives in the tourism business. We should not bow to their bullying tactics. Responsible cruise operators will respect our premier's commitment to our nation's health and safety. From now, only stayover flying visitors should be allowed. I am a cruise tour operator. I need business, but the life and health of my family, community, and people must come first. I am out of pocket, but at least I can live and tell the tale. Venice has banned the ships from coming into their harbor as well. 2 final callers and 5 minutes to go, so 2.5 for each. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Well, I have to do it very quickly. I miss out on a lot of things I want to say about it. I understand that. I'm glad Mr. Brown, my friend, called in and explained about the left-hand door policy. That's been in place, that mandate, I think, better part of 20 years. It has to limit or exit on the left, not because you're driving on the left. The operative word here, encompassing all what you're talking about, is courage. Courage will do it. It takes courage on the part of our elected parliament and courage on our people to be with them, to do these things. We will have to suffer more. You're right. It's not into the height or the peak of it yet, because the government still has some money. But we've got to understand it and be realistic. I'm a realist, that money has to come from somewhere. And here in Cayman, it comes from outside for the ordinary little man. The money to employ them comes from outside, really. So the cruise industry is very important, but that will not be for now. You can bargain with these people. You can bargain with them. I've met several of them, my lowly state that I'm in this world. I've met them, many of the big boys in there. And they're very nice people, just like everybody else. They're looking out for themselves and their families and so forth. And that's the way life is, the same as here. What we've got to understand, we can do the bus thing. We can, when we cut roads, make a little part, cut a part out of it for the bus stops for the school children and so forth.
So you agree with the previous caller in terms of that, yeah? Okay.
I agree with that. And shuttling them out with another bus service, subsidized by the government if necessary. I'm talking about all the people there. It can be done. It's done in other places. So there's no reason. It's no reinventing the wheel. We can learn from this.
Yep.
And the love affair with cars, the Jamaicans, I believe, are the top of the world right now. Most of the cars used to be brought in here by people. It's brought in by Jamaicans living here. many of them on work permits. Trust me, we know this.
But I see a lot. It's difficult to tell, who's a Jamaican who isn't. But I see a lot of people driving them too that don't look like Jamaicans or speak like Jamaicans. I don't think we should pin it on the Jamaicans.
And I'm not pinning anything on anyone. I'm just telling you that love affair is not only United States.
Got
they
you.
have much different principles.
Sure,
you can't
agreed.
have a walk on highways
Agreed.
and stuff like
Agreed.
that. School buses doing. But we can correct these things with the proper courage behind us. It can be done.
Okay. Thank you very much.
We have to change our tax system.
Thank you very much, caller. We can't get on to taxes this morning because we have the other caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to say, that I am having a problem with my water.
Okay.
And I had somebody come up and check it, and they come the second time. They can't find no leak, but now it has risen up since I paid it $243. It's gone to over $3,000.
Ooh.
So I don't know where the water went from. I went to Water Authority. They came out. They claimed it was a leak, but we can't find where the leak is. I believe that meter is faulty. But, they didn't check that or whatever. So I wonder if somebody hearing could give me a shout.
Okay. Well, there's a gentleman, I won't call his name, but he know who he is. He assisted a lady the other day with her weatherhead. I'm sure that he's listening, and if he is, I'm not going to encourage you to give your contact number over the air, but if you give it to Miss Susan, and if that caller can call Miss Susan, get your number, make contact with you to see whether or not he has any suggestions or anything like that. So go ahead, give Miss Susan your number, and we'll see if we can contact that gentleman to get in touch with you. Extremely helpful. We know that his side of things is really the electrical side, but he has been involved in other aspects of building as well. Okay?
Yes, thank you, O.C.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. Okay. Very quickly, this person has written in and said one of the previous callers this morning who shared about the idea of building up one's immunity or immune system to resist flu or viruses, etc., is also that's also a very good precaution. Also, I repeat that it is important for someone from public health or a qualified virologist to come on your For the Record show to speak about the scientific and pharmaceutical aspects of the vaccine. Too many of our common residents and citizens do not understand it and are not reading or researching on their own and are therefore susceptible to misinformation. Please encourage them to come on to your show to face the public and the opponents as well. So that's what I had shared with you there as well, folks. I want to thank every one of you who contributed to such a very informative show again this morning. And I won't call it a successful show because it is only successful when you get an opportunity to air your views and your concerns. And it is also only successful when we are able to impart information to you that proves to be helpful and reliable as well. One of the areas that I wanted to discuss this morning that I didn't get to discuss was the whole argument behind the case for mandatory vaccination. Of course, we have heard the government here in the Cayman Islands saying that they are not going to, or at least no decision has been made, not even thinking about mandating situation in the Cayman Islands. But who knows? That may change depending on how things turn out in the Cayman Islands. So it is a discussion that needs to be had as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman, one radio.